First story. Wife lied about her girl's trip to Miami and planned the trip with another man. I caught my wife cheating well away on what was supposed to be a girl's trip to Miami. She came home early after not being able to provide any photos or videos or calls of her with her friends. She has not come clean about the full extent of the affair yet, but has confessed to having one. The physical affair happened July 11th, July 13th. July 13th is when she returned home early. So this is all very recent. We are not even 3 weeks removed from this happening. The emotional affair started sometime in March-April, 5 months of getting to know him before taking action on it. Now we decided to see if we can make this relationship work. It has been rocky and she has not been able to cut him off completely. I found evidence that they had a FaceTime call 6 days after her confession to me. That was July 19th. July 22nd she made a note in her phone saving his number. Again I found this and she deleted it. Is this something we can make work? Is the trust too far gone? She will not be very clear about many things, which tells me she's not invested in this relationship the way she should be. But she is still here saying she wants to make it work. Thank you for hearing my story. The man she met is from a different country. They met through a language sharing app. July 11th was the only time she had separated from me. The flights in and out of that country are outrageous, so there's no way he was showing up for any sort of one-night stand. Not with the economy of his country. I'm confident the 11th was the first time we had that conversation, but truly there just wasn't an opportunity for any other funny business. She's also not a one-night stand girl. This was an emotional development over a period of months with a specific person due to a specific circumstance. Let me just be more clear with the details because I do appreciate the advice and want to be on the same page. After making my original post yesterday, we had a sit-down and a long discussion about what happened and what will happen from here. She finally told me the truth of the affair and its history. The guy is from a different country, so this was the first time they met. This is all developing as I'm posting. It hadn't even been 3 weeks since D-Day. She doesn't drive and doesn't have friends where we live. It has been this way for the duration of our marriage, just due to circumstances that brought us here. She doesn't drive either. She doesn't have the means of sneaking out. I also employ her in my business. She isn't having other affairs. I acknowledge that this much time spent together is also unhealthy, but it's just the situation we landed in. She is from a different country and relies on me for her living. She took on a new language study at the start of the year and met the AP on a language exchange app. It was through this language sharing that she bonded with the AP and eventually planned to meet him. After D-Day I discovered a FaceTime call a week later. Then she claimed to cut him off completely, and I've been able to check her phone when needed. A week later I did find his number was saved 2 days after the FaceTime was exposed, and she deleted it with me. She claims to have had NC since the 20th. I still check in behind her and haven't found suspicious activity. She actually has Google search history looking up how to completely block a number from an iPhone. She is far from tech-savvy, which is why I was able to discover the affair in the first place, and she has been NC so far. As far as I can tell, she had the fog of mixed feelings, but did come around to a decision that she wants to build our life back. It's all I have to work with at the moment. She has been seeing a psychologist, has her 3rd appointment coming up. Her psychologist said that an open device policy would be bad and unhealthy. But I don't know how when obviously there are things happening that shouldn't be and trust needs to be rebuilt. No kids. She opened up to me today about the specifics of the affair. She said she left early because the guilt was too much. I can't really see any other reason she would come home early. She could easily have turned her phone off and spent her week there. As for her efforts to repair damage, she says I can see her phone anytime. Has been much more communicative than ever before, is sharing with me real honesty, and she is being patient, though her patience is short at times. She says she wants to fix it all, but it's going to start with forgetting about the guy. That's the process she's working on first. To me, it seems like an excuse to not have to do much, but again I understand that it's not easy to cut off someone you created a bond with. She was in love with this man, so even though she owes me her effort, I understand she has to also get over and past what is basically a mini breakup. Update. WW says she wants to be with another man but is choosing to stay with me. Long story short, D-Day was July 12th, my wife's birthday, who was supposed to be in Miami on a girls' trip. After a lot of suspicious activity, and her returning home from her week-long trip after only 2 nights, found out she was meeting with her AP who is from a different country. They had been having a long-distance relationship since March. They met for the first time in Miami on July 11th. Again, my wife ended her trip with him early. She still hasn't been super clear as to why. I believe there may have been unprotected sex involved and she was fearful of a pregnancy. But she says she left early due to guilt. We just passed 3 weeks this weekend after D-Day. It seemed that each Friday that passed, I discovered that she was not ending her affair. In one way or another I found out that she was maintaining contact with him. Each time that I found out she said it would be over, but it wasn't. Not until the 3rd time, which happened this past Friday night. I told her I knew that she was still speaking with him, and after a feeble attempt to deny it, she confessed. There was a chat hidden in her WhatsApp, hidden behind a secret code. We spent 6 hours after this confession talking about what to do next. I was prepared to divorce, separate, whatever it would take, because I was fed up with the lying. But she has confused me more than ever. She opened up about how in love she is with the AP. She told me flat out that she wants to be with him, and she flipped-flopped between her options of staying with me or taking a risk to be with the AP. I asked her to be very clear about what she wanted because I wasn't going to be used like a toy anymore. If she loves another man, let me go and find someone who can love me the right way. She said she had been feeling empty and unhappy for a year, and he made her feel whole. That hurt to hear. But she couldn't do it. In the end, she said we have too much history together. We can get back the love. I resisted because after hearing how she feels about the AP, I just felt empty. She loves another man. How can she possibly love me? I told her to just go be with him, and she said no, she's choosing to stay. We had a long, sleepless night. In the morning she asked if she could call the AP to end things. I wanted to maintain no contact, but I also respect my wife and understand that she was building something with this man. Plans of a future, baby names, ready to meet family, marriage. All of it. She built up an entire fantasy of a second life with this man. And she also lied to him. Never mentioned she was married until recently, when it became harder for her to hide contact with him. So I let her have her goodbye call. I was there to listen alongside, and although it was in a foreign language I do not understand, I picked up most of it. Both my WW and the AP cried a lot, sobbing, heartbreak in the raw. He said he will have nothing to do with her for the rest of their lives and that the goodbye was final. He was angry, having been played for half a year. They said bye and my wife sobbed. It was a rough weekend after that. So now we are going to try to somehow come back from all of this. For obvious reasons, I'm worried that it will be for nothing. She is in love with another man. At least this time around the communication does seem to be cut off for good. However, I can never be certain now. I have the urge to contact the AP and fill him in on reality. Tell him the truth that my WW denied him for so long. I'd love to hear what you all think about this idea. Bad or good? I think it would keep him away for sure. Does this relationship sound like a lost cause? Honestly, my questions are difficult to answer. I know I love her and I want to maintain the future I've always seen with her. We did share that same vision at one point. But I do not understand why she's choosing to stay if she wants someone else. Could be comfort, stability, fear of taking a risk. I don't really understand it. But she says she wants to try and make it work. She's in a fog of heartbreak after her breakup with the AP. Some moments are good, but today she has been absolutely crushed. She's lost somebody she would text practically 24/7. There is an emptiness in her now and I don't know how to fill it. She needs time, I believe. I want to thank you for listening, it's beautiful. I have to make something clear though, I am in part at fault. As you said, mature adults communicate and our first mistake was that we did not communicate. I was not satisfying my wife sexually as a husband and as a man. I didn't learn this until after D-Day. When we started to have less sex, instead of communicating I turned to porn. I abused porn for a year, during which my wife began to feel hollow and distant. We simply never spoke about it. When she picked up a new hobby and learning a foreign language, she found something in someone to fulfill her again. A language study buddy who developed into something much more. I was still abusing porn in this time, pushing my wife away from me and giving her a shell of a man to turn to for any type of support. I can't blame my wife for seeing an opportunity to feel valued and loved when I was so absent. I do not believe I deserve to be betrayed, but I will not pretend I do not have some fault in this. Unfortunately, when I finally decided to put an end to my porn abuse, she was already 3 months into an online relationship. I am 3 months clean now. But my wife was 5 months deep into a fantasy romance of which she decided to take action upon. So we both failed each other. But she chose me now to rebuild. I appreciate your words, they seem promising. We will work on what we can. Right now she is suffering her separation from her fantasy. Really valuable insight, help me. The reason I would want to contact him would be to keep him away from my wife. She lied to him as well about her marriage, and when he found out she was married, she continued to lie and said she was not living with me. We were separated. No connection. The AP didn't care. A marriage on paper was enough of a lie to make him furious. I would want to contact him to let him know how deep her lies run. He would never look back at her knowing how much she has lied. I just know it would be enough to stop their relationship from ever continuing. But for now I will not contact him. Second story. What's her name? My wife had a 1.5 year long emotional online affair where she regularly exchanged "I love you" with her AP. D-Day was about 10 months ago, where I found a video of her AP telling her he loves her and blowing her kisses. In the shower this morning it occurred to me that I don't know the AP's wife's name. He knows mine. What I do. Has seen my business website. Has seen the inside of my house via FaceTime. Seen my dogs, etc. This morning I asked my wife, what's his wife's name? She never looked up, paused for a second. I don't know. My response, well, that's a lie, isn't it? I wished her a good day and went to work. There have been 2 questions that I've never gotten answers to. While your affair was going on, what did you tell yourself that gave you the permission to treat me so badly? For a 1.5 years you froze me out. I discover your betrayal and all of a sudden you love me again. I'm still the same person. What changed? Now there's a 3rd question. What is his wife's name? I'm going to bring this up at marriage counseling on Wednesday. But if the lies are still going on, this is totally fucking pointless, isn't it? Black story. My wife had a 16-month-long emotional affair with someone she met on Instagram. She froze me out the entire time and it made me absolutely fucking crazy. I knew something was wrong, and on 3 occasions I asked her straight out if she was seeing someone. She would lie straight to my face. I knew something was wrong and asked to go to marriage counseling and was declined. Set up dates and all sorts of things and she would barely participate. September will be a year since I found a video of some guy telling her he loves her and blowing her kisses. When I confronted her, and she told what may have been the truth, I felt incredible relief that I wasn't crazy. Some attraction came back. But as the gravity of what she had done sunk in over the next 6 or 7 months, I kind of found her repulsive. She's just as attractive as always, but the character defects that I finally realized were present just wiped out the love I once had. Every once in a while my feelings for her come back, but they are really fleeting. My body doesn't respond to her and kissing doesn't do anything anymore. This is the hard part. I don't know if it's possible to regain attraction once you've been betrayed, and no one has the answer. The thing that keeps me around are the fleeting moments when I look at her and I feel the way I used to. I don't mean to minimize what your wife did, but I might be more willing to forgive and get past something that only went on for a few weeks, especially if she hadn't been lying to me over and over again. How's your sex life? The AP lives in England and has a name so ridiculously common that I can't make any progress. I have a picture. I know what he does for a living, but he seems to be a complete digital ghost. He's a handyman. In his picture he is the name of his business, but there is absolutely nothing online. England has a regulatory body for every single profession, and if he isn't listed anywhere then he is likely just working by himself off the books. I know it's petty, but I want to send that video that he sent from their bathroom, whispering that he loves my wife, to his wife. I just want to spread a little pain around. She said they just started out chatting about daily life as any friends would. Then they carried on for 18 months. I'm having a hard time believing that she wouldn't know the other BS's name, but he knows mine. People tend to trade information fairly evenly during normal conversation. Where do you live? Oh, that's lovely. I live in. Are you married? Why, yes, my husband Frank and I have been together for 25 years, etc. Third story. She cheated with her coworker. We're both 20 years old and we have been together for 6 years. I have known her since I was 11 and she is my best friend. She works at supermarket and I'm studying to be a teacher. We both live with my single mother as it saves money, and I also help out with my younger siblings. It started about 3 months ago when a guy, 31 years old, had tried to hit on and started to try and get close to her. She had told me of the situation, and I had said it's inappropriate and she should shut it down. She told me she had shut it down and they are just co-workers. Our relationship had started to take a turn for the worst. She became distant and unloving. She began to be sexually inactive with me. I had tried to initiate sex and became more loving with her. I tried more activities we could do together to try and bond with her. I had found out 3 days ago she had been cheating on me with the guy who had tried to make an advance on her. She has been talking to him for 3 months, so when he started to get close with her, she claims the first 2 months were just talking and sending TikToks to each other. In the last month they had been sexting and sending nude pictures, as well as going on late night drives knowing I was asleep. She claims they never had sex and only kissed once, but I don't know if I believe her. She now has broken things off with him and says she wants to try with me again, and she has no feelings for him. She is my first love, and I can't picture life with her, so I want to try again with her, but I can't get images out of my head. I had said to her if she wants to be with me I can't have her working with him, which she currently still is. I had told her in order to be together I want you to transfer stores and we can start again. She hates the idea of that as she is next in line to manager, and she is saying that I'm taking that away from her. Her mom has also said to her that I shouldn't make her give up her hard work. I don't know what to do or how to feel. I feel like my life is over and I'm watching it crash. Do I let her stay a job with that guy or do I leave her? I really love her even after what she's done.